Hey yo, what is up? It is your boy Aiden. Thank you so much for joining the channel. So I'm gonna talk about my thoughts on the whole thing on Swift, using XRP, potentially. But then some very interesting things came out from our boy Guest One. Go give him a follow. He brings out some pretty cool information and he really deep dives, and 100% he's definitely worth a follow. So, and also credit to XRP Martian, because I was watching his video and I'm gonna put like my opinion on it and different things like that. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about crypto hawks, like Ripple, Swift, Ripple, Swift using, Ripple and XRP potentially. How his tweet said it's coming, Ripple core to Swift to XRP. His whole thing, and he has been right in the past. I will give him that. But I want a 100% reliable source. I don't know if you guys feel like that sometimes. Like, yeah, it does look like it, but like 100% reliable source. He has been right in the past about the whole MoneyGram thing going on. I'll definitely give him that on the whole MoneyGram thing, and a lot of people, give him crap for that. And now he's coming out with the Swift. And me personally, I just want, 100% reliable source for that to be true. Okay guys, here we go. So right here we have an initial implementation for the Swift Gateway. Was added on February 23rd, 2019. Migrated to the new Swift API on March 16th, 2019. As you guys see right here, February 12th, March 16th. He's showing some proof in his picture. Talking about commitments on February 23rd, then on March 16th. So that is number 2, and I just want to let you guys know in this whole thing, he makes some very good. He shows some very good evidence to his claim of showing tons of pictures and evidence on this. And this one is pretty big. Integration test for XRP and Swift. If you go into the code right here, it says generified integration test for XRP and Swift. So it is in there. I should think it's really cool. 4. Please note that integration test for XRP and Swift is under the commit. Added an initial implementation for the Swift Gateway. This means that XRP integration is not necessarily integration of XRP with core seller, but is most likely XRP integration with Swift. So he just wanted to let you guys know on that whole thing of what he just showed. And number 3. Number 5 is adding an initial implementation for the Swift Gateway. This is the source that he was just showing right here, talking about some different things in the code and what's been going on and what he's doing to support his claim. Oh, sorry, I can't go back for some reason. Okay, here we go. Number 6 is some additional findings from the migrated to the new Swift API GitHub commit. Verified settlement code for Swift given the above likely XRP. He shows it in this picture. I mean, he makes some very good. I just want to let you guys know, I want a really 100% source. He does make some good points though. He does make some good points. Again, I want that 100% truly reliable source. If you guys know what I'm talking about, again, 100% to guess. Go give him a follow. Like I said, he definitely makes some good points. Like I said, I think they are very good points. That brings back that backs up his point, which I think is generally what most people should do. And when people say this is gonna happen or that's gonna happen, they should generally bring back a lot of evidence to support their point. So with him coming out with this, I think is very important. But again, I really want that 100% truly reliable source. But he is making some very good points in these pictures and what he's been doing. So it says some additional findings, like we just said, verified settlement code for Swift given in above likely XRP. Then down here we have number 7 and more settlement related code. You have code for obligations when you want to keep track of the obligation and settle it. He shows a picture right here showing what that's happening, obligation. So that's number 7. Number 8 is source for the migrated to the new Swift API, and that's just basically him backing up his claim. I mean, you guys can go into this. You guys can go into GitHub for the quarter settler, and you guys can go into the code, and that's what he's doing to back up his claim. Right here is more code where XRP and Swift can be alongside one another, and as you guys see right here, we have tons of code right here, showing alongside with XRP and Swift, just talking about different things. Right here is some more code where XRP and Swift can be seen alongside one another. Yes, Swift settlements, Swift payments, Swift blah blah blah, all the transactions, different things like that. So more interesting news. Right here is 10. This part of the code is interesting to me. He says institutions can have a choice of XRP and Swift as two separate settlement methods. However, who will settle with Swift if there is a choice to settle with XRP? And like GVO Collective said, yeah, man, this is wild. It is really all being set up underneath and quality, all building out all of the infrastructure. That's some of the fastest, cheapest, most secure. So this errorless option is going to win. 100% agree with him, and he's definitely bring up some cool things. And the thing about this is, you see like the whole thing Crypto Hawk, you know, him talking about Swift, you know, XRP and all this different things, right? And he has been right in the past with the whole MoneyGram thing. 100%, you know, but like I keep saying, 100% reliable source. But I guess is really making some good claims. And hopefully when this thing all happens out, I mean, if let's say if it were, like, I mean, that would be amazing. I would love, I would just, it would just be amazing. I mean, with the things that Ripple and XRP are doing, it is definitely, it's definitely something to look out for. I mean, even if you don't like, let's say you don't like Ripple and XRP, right? It's definitely something to look out for, and just definitely something to look, you know, into what they're doing, what partnerships that they have, what people they're doing business with, the people that they met. Ripple, you know, they have Xbrain, they have RippleNet, they have XVia, you know, got XRapid, you got all these different things, all these implementations. You know, all these implementations help the XRP ledger, different things like that. You know, using the digital asset XRP to run these type of things. I think is very cool, and I think that's what makes XRP great as well. So hopefully in the future we will see something. Again, I will give it 2 to 3 years. I'll get 2 to 3 years. I think we could definitely see something. If it's gonna take any longer than that, I don't know. But there's always some good coin. I mean, if you guys are like, oh, you know, what's going on? How come, you know, it's not moving? You know, there's tons of other coins out there to look out for as well. Does anyone know how to get in touch with Ivan or Roger? Looks like they will know the full picture. And if you guys go into here, that talks about Ivan or Roger, and they're the people, and they're contacting them saying, you know, can you bring on, you know, can you show the full picture? Looks like they will know the full picture, and you know, because they're the guys on there. So he contacted him saying, Roger, this is supposed to be him. And the dude replied, hi, so how much of the full picture can you divulge? Again, he didn't reply, so who knows, maybe he doesn't want to say anything, or he can't share the information to the public, or he just can't share, I don't know, who knows. But they did try to contact him. So it says, amidst a lot of confusion in the source code, one thing is clear. I don't think that we could find so much Swift code in the quarter repo with Ripple, R3, and Swift for partners. As Swift did not play along, they will have been replaced, meaning zero observable code. 100%. 100%. And right here, and what this guy said, all the code that you've linked to only points into two parallel paths being implemented in the settler, not Swift using XRP. I'm not saying this is not possible or true. I'm only commenting on the code snippets. He says, you know, you're correct. However, I doubt Arthur and Ripple would place a multi-trillion piece of code on GitHub for all to see before they make public announcements. And then he later says, also the positioning of the functions in the code hints that they are setting things up for XRP and Swift integration. Unless the dev is a noob, they would have created a separate class, Swift Oracle class, in the first place. Very interesting, and he's making some very good points. Like I always say, he's making some good points. You cannot agree with that. Let me back up. We were at 12 right here, guys. Okay, so I think that's the end of this one. Again, he has another one going into some more things. The quarter seller gift hub repository source code. Number 2, quarter off ledger settlement with XRP. Shows right here, quarter off seller settlement with XRP. Number 3 right here is the Bob and Alice. Yes, the same Bob and Alice from Ripple's own tutorials. And look at Bob and Alice obligations, which are represented on a quarter ledger, can be settled individually in whole or in part with quarter settler. Example: Alice incurs an obligation to pay Bob an amount of USD at some point in the future. Alice should only be able to mark the obligation as paid if she can prove that the required amount payment was made to Bob via the specified method. Says the repository contains an implementation of the Corda settler with a plugin to handle off-ledger settlement and other non-Corda payment systems. And yes, this is the same Bob from the Ripple on tutorials, 100%. And yeah, he said, this dude says nothing weird about using Bob and Alice in my opinion. It's used a lot of pieces, example, A, Alice, and B, Bob. Yeah, I mean, it's just probably a common thing that they use, just to describe payments, A, B, from A to B, Alice and Bob. But yeah, so I guess, just generally a lot of them do it. So I don't think there's anything really weird with that. I'm gonna have to agree with that dude. But yes, it is the same, Bob and Alice from the Ripple tutorials. So right here we have, yes, you need to install Ripple -lib-java to be able to run Corda settler. You guys see right here, Ripple -lib-java to install Corda settler. Right here we have 5 is using XRP as a settlement rail. Using XRP as a settlement rail, and if you go into here, boom, it is right there in the code, man. Number 6 is you can use another settler by implementing your own module. However, if XRP is so fast and cheap, increasing liquidity, why use something else? Yeah, they were right here as implementing your own settler, but he makes a very good point. Like, why would you just, go for another settler by, why would you go for another settler by implementing your own module? When you can just use XRP, which is so fast and so cheap, and it increases in liquidity, like he was saying. So it's like, why use something else? So interesting point on his end. It says interesting items on to-do list for Corda settler, Oracle settlement service using XRP Oracle service, Oracle FX trade settlements using XRP. Again, guys, this is not the Oracle the company. Just want to let you guys know that. He just want to let you guys know it's not Oracle the company. But yeah, so it talks about here, define a settlement Oracle interface as abstract class and move reusable parts of the XRP Oracle service to the abstract class. Add the option to use mock FX Oracle that just provides a single FX rate. So that is number 7. Again, guys, a lot of information is going on. I'm still wrapping my head around this. I'm still trying to give a brief overview. Again, I've read this at least 2 times. He's definitely bringing some. He's got some backup. Evident. He's definitely got backup. I'll tell you that. Right here, it says Swift tests require a correct API key to be provided. Look for email Ivan/Roger for an API key in the code base. Swift test is X expected file Swift key.pem with private key in the class path. Again, that's Ivan Rogers, the same dudes that they were trying to contact before. Again, we contacted Roger, but Roger didn't say anything back. So who knows what's going on with that? And the icing on the cake from the head of trade and supply chain at R3. Tired of having the crypto discussion with your boss? Inside R3's got your back. Corda settler enables Swift JPI to settle payments on blockchain. 40 trillion can't be wrong. And if you go into this, it talks about how they are the platforms, how they're access to instant GPI payments. They're following along with the R3 trial. How they're soon going to be enabling GPI payments on DLT, distributed ledger technology, base trade platforms, different things like that. Yeah. So again, this was only June 24th, and it is currently July 24th, so it was literally a month ago exactly when this happened. Again, shout out to JXB Martian. I saw his video. I just want to put my take on it. Again, I don't think he went through the all the tweets that was exactly going on. I mean, he definitely goes through some very good stuff. Here's some additional info on XRP, just some different things like that. Yeah, I don't think he goes exactly through 100% of them, but I'm just going to try to go through at least most of them. But yeah, he definitely has a lot of things going on. So yeah, I think that is basically it. That was the last one that he had. I would say right here he has more. When a user wants a payment to make a payment, the user submits a payment request in Corda. The encrypted payment API request message is sent then from Corda to Swift for execution of the payment transaction. He talks about different steps of what's going to be going on, what happened, step 2, step 3. He just goes through different code, different things like that. And 100%, man, 100%. Go give him a follow. He definitely deserves it. Yeah, 100%. So he talks about the different steps what's been going on. Swift receives the payment request and processes the payment. Swift uses XRP to settle the payment in their system, which cannot be seen on the Corda repository. It says, please see step 3 to see how this process flows before concluding that I'm just guessing. And if you go into step 3, sends the XRP L transaction hash back to Quarter, user takes the info and makes a request called XRP Oracle service to Quarter Oracle for verification. It is used to check whether an XRP payment specified by a transaction credited a specific XRP amount. Shows a picture right there. 100%. Gotta give them a follow. If you guys have any information or anything like that, I will news on this sort of thing. Drop it down below in the comments. If you guys have anything to add to it, I'll drop his I'll drop the link to the Twitter, to his Twitter and to his tweet. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I really do want a 100% reliable source, but he is bringing some very good information. So hopefully we'll see something later with that. My thoughts on it: I want a 100% reliable source, but he's making some good points. Yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys have an amazing day. Peace, peace.